Hopkins, the preseason favorite, winless thus far. Michigan and Rutgers picked 4th and 6th in particular, and they have just played outstanding lacrosse in this conference slate of their schedule. They're getting looks on the cage, but a little bit far away. See if they can soften up the interior of this Wolverine man-down unit.
Hayden Summer surge from behind. Out high, Dante Coulis keeps it moving. Shot from distance, tracked all the way there by Hunter Taylor, stopping Colin Kelly. Temperatures working their way, expected into the low 50s on this Sunday afternoon. As the Wolverines set up shop offensively for the first time, Aiden Mulholland tied for the team lead in goals, along with Lucas Stanton, grad student transfer from Princeton, and Stoller able to cover up. And a big outing for the Scarlet Knights against the Wolverines.
He was the difference in that game. He's the difference in a lot of games for the Rutgers Scarlet Knights.
Duke Richmond with a touch. He's come on strong of late for Rutgers, working to the second midfield, and his running mate, Logan Peters, able to cash in. Scarlet Knights on the board first.
We talk about taking the best shot, not the first shot, and that's what Peters does on this effort, getting to the center of the field. Stoller, look at this thing. Stick, body, everything, denial for the Michigan offense. And watch Peters. He could have shot it right there, but he takes that extra half a step to step. And how about that shot placement? Off, stick side, low.
Peters, one of the 11 seniors getting celebrated on this day, gets his second goal of the season. It's also Alumni Day, and you'll see the nameplates for the Rutgers players have one of 3 names on them, as a great cause turnover comes there from Max Bonner from Michigan. 40 left of the shot clock. There's Colin Zeller dealing it back for Colin Curdilla. Among the leaders on this team in goals with 17. J.J. Aiello trying to spin inside of Lucas Delgado. Up top, shot there. Taylor closed down the angle, and the ground ball for Carson Billick.
Beautiful save by Hunter Taylor
for the Wolverines.
Something Michigan's definitely going to want to clean up. It's hard enough to get one stop and give your defense a blow, especially against Rutgers. They don't have any superstars, so they're going to work the shot clock. They're going to, death by 1,000 paper cuts.
Flying in, how about that? Big time put away. Justin Lawler with some pace. His 4th of the year, and it's 2-0.
And just as I say that, Lawler comes right down the center of campus and drills the upper 90. Early offense for the Scarlet Knights. So again, you turn it over. Your defense might be not as well situated as they need to be. They might be a little tired. And look at the placement of that shot.
So here on Senior Day, senior and senior starting the scoring for the Scarlet Knights. And out of the pile, trying to play it ahead and control it, there is Ben McKelvey, and a whistle coming. It's going to be Michigan ball.
I've been really impressed with the athleticism of Rutgers between the lines so far in this game. Even that last clear, which was successful for Michigan, wasn't very easy, and I think the speed in between the lines favors the Scarlet Knights.
Bo Lockwood trying to get free. Puts it up where only his man could get it, and that's Lobel. And the scout team dynamo at one point. And let's see, are they waving this off?
It looks like no. So I think the goal's going to stand.
And maybe a penalty after the fact. Let's see.
I think we've got potentially a media break. So both teams go to their benches, but Michigan just took an extra beat or two to celebrate. They feel really good about themselves.
They needed it. Lobel with a good goal to get on the board and end the early drought for the Wolverines.
I love the patience of Michigan working behind the cage, keeping it behind the goal. Pick, repick, Lobel, miscommunication by the Rutgers defense, takes the feed, slams it home. Potentially a 1-2 seed heading into the final week of the regular season, but that's exactly what we've gotten. And Penn State and Maryland yesterday got off the deck with big victories after tough losses a week ago.
Our State Farm state of success, and more success there for Rutgers.
And you got to love the grit of Michigan. 2 tough ground balls have led to these 2 possessions after initial dispossession. And on that last opportunity, Marlowe.
And there they get the equalizer. Cohen with a low rocket, and it's 2-2.
Ryan Cohen is Mr. Everything for this Michigan offense. He's a natural left-hander, so you don't necessarily think he's going to stop and pop with his offhand, but that's exactly what he does here. The pick, little 2-man game, miscommunication by the Rutgers defense. I believe they thought that there was going to be a switch there.
Including a couple goals and an assist last week against Penn State.
He is a tall drink of water. He's got great hands, and he's getting more and more comfortable in this Michigan system.
Air flying in, Mulholland with a man draped all over him, undenied, and Michigan in front with a 3rd straight tally.
All the juice that Rutgers had to begin this game has quickly evaporated as we get a look at Brian Breck just trying to settle his guys down. There's nothing fancy about this. This is just speed and placement with regard to the shot. So coming out of the box, running down the alley, step, and Mulholland just paced the upper 90 on that shot.
If you're Michigan, see what happens when you don't turn it over. After 4 straight giveaways, 3 consecutive goals for the Wolverines to jump in front. Rutgers, another face-off win. Coming back, and the low bouncer from Murphy, well off target. Justin Ennis coming on. Kelly will keep it moving for Cardillo. And again, Billings and company being disruptive. Already a couple of caused turnovers for the Wolverines D. Opening there, and the put away for Colin Zeller. 3-3.
We talked about the pick game for the Michigan Wolverines. They get bitten by a little bit of their own poison here. Watch this pick by Kelly. It's beautiful. And as a defender, you've got to topside defend that. You either have to jump that pick, or Ennis, number 17 in the maize and blue, had to jump the dodge.
In the clear game right now after a couple of failed clears early. Trying to get hands free. That one to the side netting. Brandon Clemens excited some Michigan folks thinking that one was past Stoller.
Man, this conference is healthier than ever, more competitive than ever, and it's evidenced by Rutgers and Michigan being in the spot that they are in here in 2025.
The ebbs and flows of that opening quarter. All Rutgers early, and then some big moments for Michigan before the Scarlet Knights were able to get an equalizer late in the quarter. Taylor doing his job with Michigan D. And now trying to work their way through this serious Scarlet Knight pressure. Good work to the midfield, Mason Whitney, who had a big first half last week. And how about that? On the deck, out in front.
Definitely going to want to replay that save.
Chaos here, and it's going to end up with Rutgers.
Every man's a goalie. Ben McKelvey. Look at Whitney. I'm doing my best Cardin Stoller impersonation, but like a cornerback. Reading the route, knocks it down. Goal saving. The Buckeyes written off. All they've been able to do is they won 11 in a row before falling to Maryland yesterday. And Rutgers, a team predicted to finish last in the conference. Had a tough go of it. Win one, lose one, win one, lose one, win two, lose two. But they talk about Jason all the time. Second season, getting ready, made exponential leaps and bounds.
Building identities with these programs, just hard to do with some of the established powers in this conference, but they have become elite themselves, and proving it here in this 2025 won't sit well with Kevin Conry. Let's take another peek.
There's the shooter, and there's Marlowe.
Scarlet Knights looking to beat Taylor and retake the lead this time. Wine fire in that one off the side of the net again. Opportunity for Colin Kelly, didn't miss by much. Cohen trying to work with Clemens. Out in front, Clay. And that one wide of the net.
Great two-man game. You saw the pick, and then the jump cut.
Lockwood hit it off the pipe. Shot clock resetting, loose. And Jackson Clay comes in, but can't control it.
Unlucky for Michigan. A little bit of butterfingers.
Be fascinating to see what the selection committee has in front of it. We get down to figuring out who will be in the postseason field, ready to culminate on Memorial Day weekend. Of course, Big Ten excited about what's to come in the Big Ten tournament. Man, what a great pass to set up Mulholland. Everything there, but the pipe didn't cooperate.
I love that setup by Michigan. It was a quick set because due to the push call, then the timeout, the shot clock did not reset to 60 seconds.
Colin Zeller got the last tally last quarter. About 2 minutes left to go in the opening period.
Rutgers was winning individual matchups in the first quarter.
Another stop from Taylor, rebound attempt, fired wide by Curdilla.
The bing-bing going for an easy shot.
Starting it now with 12 seconds left to go in the quarter. Pinging it over for Peters, but lost control. Case Van Wees able to collect and send it down the field for Michigan. Stoller able to get a little deflection there at the tail end, atop the standings, headed into the final week of the regular season. Michigan able to come up with a big face-off win. Nick Lauterbach able to step in and take it for the Wolverines. Just the third face-off win out of 9 contested thus far for Michigan. And a long pass down the field picked off by Stoller. Again, the ride paying dividends there for Rutgers, although the Scarlet Knights carelessly give it back. Fired by Lucas Stannett that doesn't find a home.
There was definitely some hot sauce on that Stromboli coming Cardin Stoller's way.
Cohen himself, Stoller, smothers it low. And the nice outlet for Splain. But tied up. That's Cohen tracking all the way back after the shot to be problematic here on the Rutgers clear attempt. Still loose on the edge, finally whistled. It'll belong here to the Wolverines.
Saw a little bit of hold on Rutgers to give possession over to the Michigan Wolverines.
Another pick there. Rutgers defender Splain running through his man. That was Jack Long, who's back up and at it for the Wolverines. Lockwood. Stannett trying to get that left hand free. Does. Stoller traps again.
With each passing minute and lack of success in this deadlock scenario.
Jackson Clay going out in front. Lockwood getting a step, throws it in. Stoller there. Rebound attempt for Cohen. He's flattened into the crease. Flag coming out.
Stoller really feeling it. Look at the save. And then Lobel. It might be chilly, but the water's fine. Let's go swimming in the Raritan. Swims through the Rutgers defense until he just runs out of real estate. Actually, that was aided by the crossbar. And right there, you have a hold, push, whatever the case may be. Draws the foul.
Can Michigan find a way to go back in front?
I'm sorry, Jay. Starting off at a 2-2-2.
Stannett gives it up. Rocket shot, and that one just gets past Stoller. The put away from Aiden Mulholland, and Michigan retakes the lead.
That one had just enough juice on it to solve Cardin Stoller. Michigan started in a 2-2-2 and finished in a 2-2-2, but the motion, as you're going to see, they changed the formation. They just slipped Lobel behind, and Rutgers just pays a little too much attention to him as he drags behind the cage.
Mom and dad, both high-level track performers in the SEC in their college days. Mom at Kentucky, dad at Georgia. Duke doing good things in lacrosse for Rutgers. So too is Colin Cardilla. Knocks us at 4.
Hometown boy, Bridgewater Raritan High School, very close to the Rutgers campus. Cardilla played midfield last year and really grew up in a hurry. Here he's playing attack, and Aiello draws a double. I'm not sure why you go there. Aiello is a shooter. He's not that much of a dodging threat.
Stannett subbing back on with pace, tries the bouncer from a tough angle. And a good scamper from behind for Rutgers to come away with it.
What hustle. That is the difference between winning and losing sometimes. Incredible hustle.
Numbers for Rutgers. Low bouncer scores. Cardilla goes back to back.
By
Joe Youngerkiss got that ground ball to trigger things at the other end, and man, defense translated into immediate offense.
We talk about the difference between winning and losing. Stannett with that twister shot, he scored on it last week against Penn State. And just the lack of hustle to the end line by Ryan, that might have been Lobel. And we're going the other way. And that is just a textbook fast break. It's down low, and Cardilla, you're not going to get many easier than that.
Doing some great things in the Ivy League and on the national scene.
The Ivy League is really shaping up. You've got Princeton and Cornell, Harvard in the top 10 playing outstanding lacrosse. Who's going to be that fourth team, I think, is the question. You know, Yale knocking off Dartmouth yesterday.
From distance, attempt there from Scalamandre.
Well, you know, kind of recuperate a little bit. And if you don't get that, you want to get a 3-4. You like to have home cooking, you know, at least for one game before you go to the predetermined site.
That one off the inside leg of Taylor. Michigan on the move, trying to see if it can give us fourth tie of the game. One pulled wide. We've been deadlocked at 2, 3, 4. Wolverines would like to see us even up at 5 apiece. Good pass to the tight side, and the finish. Lockwood off a sweet setup from Cohen, and there is the equalizer.
Here in the third quarter, Michigan's headliners have stepped up. Mulholland with a goal, and now you're going to see Cohen. He is the most dangerous Michigan Wolverine on the offensive side of the field. And again, making plays when the chips are down. And with his offhand, right-handed, beautiful vision to see Lockwood on the back side. And Lockwood, look at the soft hands. Great finish, soft touch, and Michael Gavazin, a goaltender at Johns Hopkins. It has become the breeding and training ground for goaltenders, and Stoller, that speaks to how guys want to get better. These are college players that spend their own money and spend their time in the summer and in the winter training. That shows incredible confidence. So it's like a hybrid almost. They're defending the ball behind the cage.
Houlihan pushed out. Opening there, Lockwood keeps it going and gets another goal. Back-to-back for the junior for the Wolverines. 6-5 Michigan.
Homegrown product out of Heartland, Michigan. When we talked to Kevin Connery this week, we asked, what guys do you think need to step up in their game? And he said, we're expecting bigger things out of Bo Lockwood. He's been knocking on the door. And here in the third quarter, he's kicked it in. This is fundamental lacrosse. Keep your feet moving, good things happen. Watch him front swing, catches the ball. He could have shot it there, but he keeps his feet moving, gets to an even better spot, finishes, and Michigan has regained the lead.
4 ties, 4 lead changes now in this game. And Rutgers again looking like it may come up with it. Kevin Connery, we talked about his group trying to make this more than just a one-on-one situation, make it 3-on-3 with wing play, or make it more than that with field play, and they've mucked it up enough to get another possession.
His impact on this game.
Different feel for him this year after 29 assists last year for Michigan. Now a couple of goals here, 17 points on the season, but starting to round into the form that Michigan would like here, ready for the most impactful part of the lacrosse season. Out of the pile, Whitney with it, whips it. Stoller watches that, track on by.
Run out by the Wolverines, and they get a reset of that 60-second shot clock, too.
See the shot numbers here, more than double for Michigan in this half. Stoller, leg save there, sprawled out, rebound in front of the crease. Michigan, patience and the finish. Lobel got it and buried it, and a 2-goal lead for the first time for the Wolverines.
This is unfortunate for Rutgers. Immediately the Rutgers coaching staff goes to the iPad to see if there may have been interference on Carden Stoller. There's Brian Brecht checking it out, trying to get a handle if he should challenge this or not. Let's take a look at the replay. Stanek with the shot. There's the rebound. Stoller had it right there. And I think they're going to, even if they challenge, they're going to rule that incidental contact. Nothing that was advantage gained, if you will. There you see it.
Good toss, by the way. The coaches got to get used to that now. Like the refs have been dealing with flags here for years. Off the turnover. That's tossed in. Cardilla makes Michigan pay. He's got a hat trick, and Rutgers creeps to within a goal.
Michigan had cleaned up that clearing game, and actually they had amped up the intensity on the ride, but here on the clearing attempt, nice job of climbing the ladder. Dante Coulis, the Canadian, skies, picks it off, gives it to Cardilla against the edges. Of course, many people might not know what a phone booth is these days.
Spillane delivering his second ground ball along with a caused turnover in this game.
So those are 2 juice plays with the interception and the Cardilla goal, and then Spillane a little bit juicy in other ways, picking that tough GB up and getting it out of harm's way.
Another flag down here.
Unnecessary roughness, and I believe head and neck contact right there. Oh boy, that's a rough one. Rutgers, even if they score, they could be man up as well.
Behind the back, Coulis couldn't put that on frame. Final few seconds of the EMO. Michigan's D, dynamite again. Final seconds though, do they get it off for the shot clock? No. Lockwood. Out in front. Lobel.
Good patience by Lobel, 0-0 in blue.
Clay. Crossfield, ripped there by Cohen, and Michigan back up by a pair.
Yeah, Lobel with that ball on the inside. I thought he was going to shoot it, but he did well to shade his stick away from the pressure. And Cohen, you knew he was going to show up. This is great vision by number 33 in blue. Jackson Clay identifies, and look at that shot placement.
Submarine pass back out for Mulholland. Two-man game. Mulholland straight away. Stanek trying to get involved. Deflection there from Splain. And now trying to create havoc in the corner and pick up another rugged ground ball. Younger Kiss in there too, and now big hit. Clemens almost decleated Splain.
Bodies are flying.
Officials still conferring. As you look at the carnage in the corner.
Look like clean hits.
Things down and try to put together another scoring sequence to give themselves the largest lead of the game for either team, which could be 3.
I tell you, this is the hardest game on the planet, in my opinion, to officiate. All the rules that you have to know, the speed of the game.
Mulholland. He scored a pair for Michigan. Lockwood's got 2. So does Cohen. Bidding for a hat trick. Save there by Stoller.
Gigantic.
19 against Michigan last year, is 13th of this year's showdown. Number 13 for Rutgers. Younger Kiss bidding for a transition goal.
Giganticer down here by Hunter Taylor.
As one of the lower seeds, they have the opportunity now to position themselves maybe for a top-tier spot in the conference tournament. Whipped around in the back. Final 3-minute stretch. His pass off target for Houlihan goes to Lockwood. Cohen lost it. Ground ball, Tommy Mendyke. Stays off the end, or excuse me, stays off the sideline, and now Rutgers going to get and spend one of those timeouts.
That was a huge play. Double pole in the midfield.
Kelly working near side. Coming out, brings one off the pipe.
That was nasty.
10 of them caused turnovers from Michigan.
Timing and defensive discipline. The check from Whitney on Richmond, and now you have the check from Bonner on Zeller. 2 brilliant defensive checks by the Michigan Wolverines.
And time is going to run out here on Rutgers. A senior day that started strong goes in favor of the Wolverines. And Michigan with road magic and a share of first place here in the Big Ten with Ohio State.